The skies above the alien planet were dark purple, thick with clouds that moved in slow circles like smoke in water. Cole adjusted the strap of his gear as he stepped out of the small drop pod. Steam hissed from the metal as it cooled on the strange red grass. His boots sank slightly into the soft ground with every step. He had landed alone. Command had told him the mission was simple: investigate an energy signal coming from this uncharted world and return within 24 hours. But the moment the pod had landed, his comms cut off. No signal, no GPS, no help. Cole checked his wrist device again. Still blank. Great, he muttered, scanning the horizon. Strange trees twisted in all directions. Their leaves shimmered silver, even without sunlight. Everything looked like it had been pulled from a dream, or maybe a nightmare. He wasn't scared. He had been a soldier for years, seen many planets, faced danger countless times. But this world felt different. It was too quiet, no wind. No birds, no movement. And then he heard something, a soft hum. A voice, maybe? Cole turned quickly, aiming his pulse rifle. But nothing was there. Just mist rolling in over the ground. Like a slow, creeping tide. As he moved forward, the mist grew thicker, wrapping around his body. He saw something in the distance, large stone structures like a castle or a temple, half swallowed by nature. Curious, he pushed through the overgrowth. Vines had taken over the broken stone pillars. The doors, tall and cracked, stood open like a forgotten invitation. Symbols he couldn't read glowed faintly across the walls. This place was ancient, long abandoned, yet still pulsing with something alive. Inside, the air was warmer, softer. He stepped carefully over rubble, the echo of his boots bouncing across the high ceiling. Paintings covered the walls, all of them, showing a tall, beautiful alien woman standing beside a man, always the same man, always human. It was impossible. No one from Earth had ever come here, unless... The hairs on Cole's arms rose. He walked deeper until he reached a central chamber. There, a round platform stood in the middle, surrounded by floating stones that circled slowly, without sound. And standing at the edge of that platform was a figure. She was tall and slender, dressed in flowing robes of deep teal. Her skin was a soft, pale blue-purple like the twilight sky. Her hair was long, silver, and wavy, and her eyes glowed faintly like stars. She had small elf-like ears and an otherworldly grace. She wasn't just beautiful, she looked unreal, like a vision. She didn't speak at first. She just stared at him, her lips slightly parted in surprise. Cole froze. He didn't know what to say. She stepped closer, eyes wide. Then she reached out, gently placing her hand on his chest. "You are real," she whispered. Cole's heart skipped. Yeah, I'm real," he replied slowly, unsure what else to say. The alien woman tilted her head slightly, studying his face as if trying to remember it. Then her eyes softened and something like relief washed over her features. "I've seen you in my dreams," she said. Cole blinked. "What?" She smiled, but it was a sad, distant smile. "Since I was young, I've dreamed of a warrior from the stars, a human. I never believed it could be true, until now." "Look, I think there's been some kind of misunderstanding," Cole said, stepping back a little. "I came here because of an energy signal. I didn't mean to." "I know why you came," she interrupted softly. "The energy was me?" He didn't understand. But she looked so sure, so calm. "You called me?" he asked. She nodded. "Not with words, with longing. I have waited so long for this moment." Cole felt like he was spinning. This couldn't be real. A human warrior, dreamed of by an alien princess. It sounded like a story from an old legend, not real life. "I'm just a soldier," he said. "I don't belong here." "But you do," she said gently. "You always did. This world knew your name before I ever spoke it." Cole stared at her, unsure what to do. Her voice was soothing, her presence calming, but everything about this was impossible. She stepped closer again. "My name is Liari. I am the last princess of a forgotten people. Our planet is dying. The sky has stopped singing. The stars don't speak anymore. But in my dreams, I saw hope return when you arrived." He felt a pull in his chest. Maybe it was the planet's air. Maybe it was something else. I'm Cole, he finally said. Just Cole. She smiled again, this time with warmth. Cole, she repeated. Even your name feels familiar. He was about to ask what she meant when she suddenly dropped to one knee, eyes glowing brighter now. She looked up at him with a mixture of strength and fear. I know this is sudden. I know you don't understand yet. But listen to my heart, not just my words. She reached for his hand. Her fingers were warm. Will you marry me? The world went silent. Cole felt his breath catch. What? Please? She whispered. You don't have to decide now, but I had to ask. Before time takes you from me again. Again? He echoed. Have we met before? In another life, she said softly. Or maybe in the spaces between dreams. Cole didn't move. He couldn't. Everything felt too big, too strange, too fast. But at the same time, her voice stirred something inside him. Something familiar. Something real. He looked down at their joined hands. Maybe fate wasn't always fiction. Cole stood in silence, trying to make sense of her question. The alien princess was still holding his hand, her glowing eyes fixed on him, full of hope and something even deeper, something like fear. No one had ever looked at him like that before. Liari, he said softly, you don't even know me. I do, she whispered, not the way your world knows people, but through dreams, visions, and something older than time. Cole looked around the chamber again. He was in a place far from home, on a planet no human had ever walked, standing in front of someone who believed he was her destiny. It sounded unbelievable, but the emotion in her voice was real. That much he could feel. You said you saw me before? He asked, trying to stay calm. She nodded. Yes, I've seen you many times. Sometimes you were a shadow standing in the stars. Other times you were protecting me from fire, from falling skies. I would wake up crying or smiling, always with your name in my heart, though I had never heard it spoken. Cole stepped back slowly, trying to clear his thoughts. How can that be possible? Larry walked over to a tall mirror in the corner of the chamber. The glass was old, cracked in some places, but it shimmered like water. This mirror is not for reflection, she said. It shows truth. She touched its edge, and the surface rippled. Images began to swirl, stars, planets, old battles. Then Cole saw himself standing in armor different from what he wore now, leading alien warriors in a forgotten war. What is this? He asked, stunned. A memory, Liari said. One that doesn't belong to your mind, but to your soul. He turned to her slowly, not sure he believed it. You're saying I've been here before, in another life? Perhaps not here, she said, but somewhere. We are connected, Cole. I felt it the moment I touched you. He didn't know what to say. He wasn't a believer in fate or reincarnation. He was a soldier, trained to survive, not to dream. I don't know what you expect from me, he said quietly. Liari turned to him, sadness in her eyes. I expect nothing. I only hoped. They both stood silently for a moment. Then Liari began to explain more. Her people, the Liari, once ruled the skies. Their cities floated above the clouds, and their voices could shape light. But a long war broke the harmony of their world. A powerful race from another system invaded, seeking to drain the planet's life energy. The Liari fought bravely but lost everything. Now, she said, our cities lie under the earth. Only a few of us remain. I am the last royal, and the only one who still dreams. Cole listened closely. The pain in her voice wasn't made up. Her story wasn't some trick. We don't believe in marriage the same way humans do, she continued. In our culture, to bond with someone is to share your soul. That is why I asked you. Because my dreams were not dreams. They were warnings and promises. Cole sat down on a fallen pillar, rubbing his face. He had no mission update. No contact with Earth. His orders were to investigate and return. But how could he leave this behind now? I came here for a signal, he said. I thought it was a threat. It was a call, Larry replied. A call for help. He looked up at her. Why me? She walked closer, kneeling in front of him. Because you were the only one who could answer. Something inside him stirred. Not fear. Not confusion. Something else. A pull he couldn't describe. Still, he needed more time. I can't promise anything, he said carefully. But I'm not leaving yet, Liari smiled gently. That is enough for now. That night, Cole was given a place to rest inside the palace ruins. He couldn't sleep easily. Every time he closed his eyes, strange dreams filled his mind. Liari's face, glowing cities, battles he had never fought. But one thing stayed the same, her voice calling his name through space. In the morning, she took him deeper underground. The old palace had tunnels hidden beneath it, where soft lights flickered from walls made of crystal. The deeper they went, the warmer the air became. At the bottom, they entered a chamber where others were waiting silent. Glowing beings with sad eyes. These are the elders, Liari said. They have protected what remains of our world. The elders studied Cole, then nodded without speaking. One of them stepped forward and placed a small silver stone in Cole's hand. It pulsed with soft light. What is this? He asked. A memory key, Liari explained. If your soul is truly the one I dreamed of, this will unlock what you have forgotten. Cole stared at the stone. Then slowly he closed his fingers around it. A sudden flash of light filled the chamber. In that moment, Cole saw a world not his own, a vision of himself standing beside Liari, but her robes were bright, her crown shining. He was in different armor, leading an army made of both humans and Liari. They fought not against each other, but together. At the heart of the battle, Cole protected Liari from a blast of energy. Then the vision ended. Cole dropped the stone. Breathing heavily, Liari knelt beside him. Do you understand now? I saw it, he said, but I don't know what it means. It means, she said softly, you were always part of our story. He looked into her eyes. They were full of sadness and strength. Not demanding, not forcing, just hoping. I'm just a soldier, Cole said again. I've never been anything more. You were more to us, she replied. You can be again? Later, as they walked through the underground city, Cole saw how much had been lost. The people looked tired, but they paused to bow slightly when Liari passed. Many of them looked at Cole with wonder. They think I'm here to save them, he whispered. You are, Liari said. I'm not a hero. You don't have to be one, she answered. Just be real. He thought about that. Real. He hadn't felt truly seen in years. He was a name on a file, a soldier in armor, a shadow in someone else's war. But here, someone had dreamed of him. Someone believed in him. And slowly he started to believe something, too. Maybe he had found more than a mission. Maybe he had found meaning. Cole stood at the edge of a broken balcony, overlooking the glowing caves below. The underground city stretched far into the distance, homes built into stone walls, bridges made of light, and people walking quietly with hope in their eyes. Some waved when they saw him. Others simply watched with curiosity. He still didn't feel like a hero, but something inside him had changed. Ever since he held the memory stone, visions came to him more clearly. At night, when he slept, he saw battles in the stars. He saw himself, standing beside Lorraine, facing enemies, protecting her. And each time he woke up, he felt the bond between them growing stronger. Liari joined him on the balcony. She stood quietly, holding a scroll in her hand. We've received a warning, she said. Cole turned to her. What kind of warning? She opened the scroll and showed him strange symbols. It came from one of the old satellites still working above the surface. Enemy ships were spotted moving toward our planet. Cole's jaw tightened. The ones who destroyed your cities before? She nodded. They've returned, and they're bringing more weapons than ever. He looked up toward the rocky ceiling, imagining the sky above them. They found the energy signal, he said. Liari's voice was quiet. Yes, they followed it here, just like you did. But they're not here to help. No, she whispered. They're here to finish what they started. Cole was taken to the command chamber, a large room carved into crystal walls. A round table sat in the center, glowing with a map of the planet. Several Liari warriors were already there, wearing light armor and holding long, curved staffs. These are our guardians, Liari said. Cole stepped forward. Do you have a defense system? One of the warriors replied, We have shields around the main chamber and a few old weapons, but nothing that can stop a full strike from the sky. Cole stared at the glowing map. The enemy ships were only a day away. He knew what that meant. They didn't have time to prepare. "Let me help," he said. "I've fought battles like this before." The warriors looked unsure. One of them asked, "You are only one man? What can you do?" Cole stepped closer to the table. "I can teach you how to fight like humans do. We don't just rely on weapons. We use strategy, speed, and surprise. If we work together, we can hold them off long enough to survive." Liari looked at the others. "He's not just a warrior. He's part of the prophecy. We must trust him." Slowly, the guardians nodded. Cole trained with the Iliari warriors in the lower chambers. He showed them how to move in small teams, how to set traps using the tunnels, and how to confuse enemy scans. They listened carefully, picking up his tactics faster than he expected. They had the will to fight. They just needed someone to remind them how. Liari watched every session. She didn't speak much, but Cole felt her eyes on him the whole time. At night, they would sit together near the fire crystal and talk. "I never expected this," he told her. "I thought I was just passing through." Liari looked at him, her voice gentle. "You were always meant to be part of this story." "I'm not sure I believe in destiny," he said. "You don't have to," she replied. "Just believe in what you feel." He looked at her. "And what if I feel something real, something I didn't expect?" Liari smiled softly. "Then you're not alone." The next day, the sky turned red. The underground sky made of special crystal reflected the color from above. Everyone stopped what they were doing. Silence spread across the city. "They're here," a guard whispered. Cole rushed to the command chamber. The map glowed brighter now. Red markers showed the enemy ships entering the atmosphere. "They'll attack the surface first," Cole said. "We have to meet them there." "You want to go up?" Liari asked. "They'll find the tunnels if we stay hidden. But if we fight back where they land, we can stop them before they break through." The Guardians hesitated, but Cole stepped forward. "I'll lead the first team," he said. "Give me 10 warriors, that's all I need." Liari stepped close. Her eyes worried. "It's dangerous, I know," Cole said. "But I won't let them take this world. Not while I'm still breathing." She reached for his hand. "Come back to me." He squeezed her hand gently. "I promise." Cole and 10 Eliari warriors rose to the surface through an old lift, covered in vines and dust. When the door opened, a wave of hot air hit them. The surface was dry, cracked, and empty except for the sky above. 3 enemy ships hovered in the distance. They looked like black daggers, cutting through the clouds. Cole motioned for the others to spread out. "We wait until they land," he whispered. "Then we hit fast. No fear." The warriors nodded. Minutes passed. Then the ships released pods. They crashed into the ground, sending smoke and dust everywhere. Strange armored creatures stepped out, tall, insect-like beings with sharp weapons. They began scanning the ground. Cole signaled the attack. The Ilari warriors struck from the shadows fast and silent. Their staffs crackled with energy. Cole moved like lightning, using his pulse blade to strike down 2 enemies in seconds. The battle was small, but fierce. The alien creatures were stronger, but not smarter. Cole's training worked, one by one. The enemy forces fell, but then something went wrong. A larger ship appeared, firing a beam toward the ground. The shockwave knocked several warriors down. Cole rushed to help, pulling one from the rubble. "We have to fall back," someone yelled. "No!" Cole shouted, "Hold the line." More enemy soldiers dropped in, surrounding them, just as Cole was about to fight. Again, a voice filled the air. "E-N-O-U, Jetch?" A wave of energy pushed everyone back. Cole looked up and saw a figure stepping from the ship. It was different from the others, taller, wearing gold armor. Its voice echoed with power. "You are the human who dares lead the lost ones?" It growled. Cole stood tall. "I fight for them." The creature laughed. "Then you will die with them." It raised a hand, charging a blast. Cole braced himself, but before the attack could hit, a wall of light appeared between them. Liari, she had arrived, floating above the battlefield, her robes glowing with energy. "You will not harm him," she said firmly. The creature stepped back. "The princess still lives?" "Yes," she replied, "and I do not fear you." She landed beside Cole, helping him to his feet. "You said to come back," he whispered. She smiled. "I always meant it." Together they faced the enemy once more. Liari's power, awakened by her bond with Cole, shone bright. She used it to push the invaders back. Cole led the charge, shouting orders, protecting the warriors. Finally, after one final blast from Liari, the enemy leader fell. The remaining invaders fled, retreating to their ships. The sky cleared. The battle was over. For now, that night, the people of the underground city celebrated. Lights danced through the tunnels. Music returned to the caves. Hope was alive again. Cole sat beside Liari near the crystal lake. "You saved us," she said. "No," he replied. "We saved each other." She looked at him, her voice quiet. "Do you believe me now? About the dreams? About us?" He nodded slowly. "I don't understand everything, but I know what I feel." Larry reached for his hand again. "I asked you before," she said softly. "Will you marry me?" This time, Cole didn't look away. He held her hand tighter. "I'm not ready to answer yet, but I won't walk away. Not anymore." She smiled. "Then I will wait." The days after the battle passed quietly. The enemy had left the skies, but no one believed they were gone for good. Deep under the surface, the Ilari people worked together, repairing old defenses, reinforcing tunnels and rebuilding broken homes. Cole helped wherever he could. Though he still felt like an outsider, many of the Eliari now treated him like one of their own. Children followed him in the streets, smiling and asking questions about Earth. Elders bowed their heads when he passed. Even the warriors who once doubted him now respected him as a leader, but Cole's heart was heavy. He still didn't understand everything. The visions, the dreams, the strange energy between him and Larry, none of it made full sense. And yet, it all felt right. One morning, Liari asked him to walk with her. She wore a different robe, this one white and silver, with flowing sleeves and small crystal designs along the edges. Her hair was tied with a glowing thread that shimmered. Like morning dew, Cole followed her through the tunnels until they reached a sealed chamber. Two tall guards stepped aside, revealing a large stone door covered in glowing marks. "This is the door of memory," Liari said. "It opens only for those who are chosen." "Chosen by who?" Cole asked. She looked at him. "By the heart of the planet." Cole raised an eyebrow. "You mean the planet chooses?" "Yes," she said. "Our world is alive, in a way. It holds power, memory, and judgment. Long ago, leaders came here to be tested. If the planet accepted them, it showed them the path forward." Cole took a deep breath. "And you think I need to be tested?" Larry nodded. "Not because I doubt you, but because you need answers. The truth is waiting for you behind this door." He looked at the door. It felt strange, like it was calling to him. Slowly he reached out and placed his hand on the glowing center. The mark shifted. The door slid open with a soft hum. Inside was a long hallway made of crystal walls. Lights danced inside the crystal, moving like streams of energy. The air felt warm but peaceful. "Only you can enter," Liari said. "I'll wait here." Cole nodded once and stepped through. The hallway led to a circular room with no ceiling. Above, he could see the natural sky through a hole in the rock, the first time he'd seen stars on this planet without clouds or smoke. In the center of the room floated a glowing orb. It pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Cole stepped closer. Suddenly, light from the orb wrapped around him. He couldn't move. But he didn't feel afraid. Then the visions began. He saw himself in another time, wearing golden armor, standing beside Lari as queen. They were in a massive hall, surrounded by both Iliari and humans. Together they ruled over peace. He was not just a warrior, he was her partner, her protector, her king. Then the vision changed. He saw fire, war, the enemy invading again. He died in that vision, saving Liari. The light faded, and Cole dropped to one knee, breathing hard. The Orb pulsed again, and a voice echoed not with words but with feeling. You have lived this story before. Now you may choose a different ending. Cole stood slowly. His hands trembled. He had been here. Maybe not in this body, maybe not in this lifetime, but his soul remembered, and Layari? She had been waiting, across time, across dreams. He understood. Now, this was not just fate. It was a second chance. He returned to the door. Larry stood waiting, her eyes filled with concern. What did you see? She asked. Cole stepped forward and took her hands. I saw everything, he said softly. You were right. We've been here before. Her eyes widened. You remember? I don't remember details, but my heart does. I know now why I'm here, and I know what I want. He paused, looking deeply into her eyes. I want to protect. Your world, I want to protect you. Her hands shook in his. Does that mean? She whispered. I'm not ready for marriage in the human way, he said gently. But if your people bond through heart and soul, then yes, I'm ready to stand with you, to choose you. Tears formed in her eyes, not of sadness, but of relief and joy. Then you have passed the trial, she whispered, that evening. A ceremony was held in the central chamber of the city. It was quiet, simple, and full of light. Ilari symbols glowed across the walls, and soft music filled the air. Larry stood beside Cole, their hands wrapped in a white ribbon. One of the elders spoke. This is not a promise of forever, but a promise of truth. Two souls, now joined in purpose. The past no longer controls them. The future is theirs to write. Cole looked into Liari's eyes. I choose this path, he said. Liari smiled. And I choose you. The crowd bowed their heads. Energy shimmered above them, rising like light smoke to the ceiling. The bond was made, not forced, not fated, chosen, later. That night, Cole and Larry sat on a balcony, watching the quiet sky. The planet accepted you, she said. It didn't feel like judgment, Cole replied. It felt like understanding. She nodded. It doesn't see with eyes. It listens to the heart. He turned to her. You always believed I would come. I didn't just believe, she whispered. I waited. He was silent for a moment. Then he asked, what happens next? Larry looked at the stars. The enemy will return, she said. Stronger, but this time we will be ready. With you beside us, the world has hope again. Cole leaned back. I don't know if I'm strong enough. She looked at him. You are? Not because of your power, but because of your heart. At that moment, alarms echoed through the tunnels. Red lights blinked across the city walls. A messenger ran in. Your Highness. The sky has opened again. A massive fleet approaches. Cole stood at once. Liari's voice was steady. Then it begins. The red warning lights blinked across the underground city. The sound of the alarm echoed through the glowing crystal tunnels. People paused in their work. Children were pulled into safety. Warriors rushed to their stations. Cole stood with Layari on the balcony, looking up at the stone ceiling above them. Somewhere far beyond it, the sky was filled with enemy ships. They didn't wait long, he said, his voice steady. No, Layari replied softly. They saw your bond with me. They fear it. Cole looked at her. They should. She gave him a quiet smile, but he could see the worry in her eyes. This time, the enemy wasn't sending a small scouting force. This was a full invasion. How? Many ships? He asked. A young Aleari scout entered the room and bowed. At least 20 large warships. Dozens of fighters. More are coming through the stars. Cole nodded. Then we don't have much time. He turned to Larry. Get your people ready. Take them deeper into the tunnels. Liari's hand reached for his. You're not going alone. I'm not asking to, he said. But I need to be at the front. You need to lead from the heart of the city. Liari looked into his eyes. We're bonded now, Cole. That means we stand together. Cole didn't argue. He knew she wouldn't stay behind. Soon, the Liari forces gathered at the surface gates. Cole stood in front of them, wearing new armor crafted by Liari hands, fused with human design. It shimmered with silver and blue, with a glowing mark on the chest, the symbol of the bond between him and Liari. Liari stood beside him. Dressed in ceremonial armor, her long robe tied at the waist, her crystal staff shining with bright light. The warriors stood in silence, watching their leaders. Cole raised his voice. "You've lost your skies once, but not again. This time, we fight not just to survive, but to rise." He pointed upward. "They think we're weak. They think this world belongs to them. But they forgot something important." He turned and reached for Liari's hand. "We stand together. Not as strangers, not as separate people, but as one." The warriors raised their staffs and weapons in the air. A cheer spread through the ranks. Hope returned to their hearts. The enemy ships pierced the sky above the ruins. They were massive, like floating cities, blocking out the sun. Strange energy weapons charged beneath them. Small fighters zipped across the clouds like angry insects. The Liari defenses, powered by ancient crystals, formed a glowing shield above the surface. But everyone knew it would not last long. Cole led the first team through the surface tunnels. They reached the old palace ruins, the same place where he had first met Liari. Now, it would be the first line of defense. Energy blasts rained down from the sky, shaking the ground. Dust fell from the broken ceilings. But the shield held for now. Cole gave orders quickly, setting traps around the palace, positioning snipers in the towers, and hiding energy bombs near the landing zones. "Let them come," he said, gripping his weapon tightly. The enemy landed with thunder. Black-armored invaders marched out of the dropships. Tall, thin, with sharp, glowing weapons, they moved like machines without fear or feeling. Cole didn't wait. "Now!" he shouted. Explosions lit up the ground. Smoke and fire blocked the enemy's view. Liari warriors attacked from hidden spots. Using the mist and cover to their advantage, Liari used her staff to form shields and heal injured fighters. She moved gracefully through the battlefield, her presence like a beacon of light. Cole fought with strength and precision. He dodged blasts, struck hard, and protected those around him. He wasn't fighting for a planet. He was fighting for a future with Liari, but the enemy leader soon appeared. The same golden-armored creature from before stepped onto the battlefield. His voice echoed through a speaker. "You dare resist again? You will fall just like before." Cole stepped forward. "That was then? This is now." "You are only one human." "No," Cole said. "I am one choice." The leader raised his weapon and fired. A blast of energy flew toward Cole, but Liari was faster. She jumped in front of him, her staff spinning, forming a shield. The blast shattered the staff, and Liari fell to the ground. "Liari!" Cole shouted, running to her. She was hurt, her breathing shallow, but alive. Her hand reached for his. "You must finish this." He looked at her broken staff. Its crystal core still glowed faintly. Cole picked it up, and the crystal responded. Energy flowed through him, wrapping around his body, merging with his armor. The ground pulsed. The sky shimmered. The heart of the planet had chosen. Cole stood, glowing with light. The enemy paused, unsure what they were seeing. He moved forward, not running, just walking with purpose. The enemy fired again, but the energy bent around him. He struck the leader with a single blast of light from the crystal. The golden armor cracked, and the creature fell. Panic spread among the invaders. Cole raised the staff high. "Leave this world, or be buried beneath it." The ground shook. Crystals rose from the earth, forming spikes, walls, shields. The planet responded to his call. The enemy fled. Their ships lifted into the air and disappeared into the stars. The sky cleared. The battle was over. Liari was taken to the healing chambers. Cole stayed by her side. When she woke, he smiled. "You didn't listen when I told you to stay safe." She smiled weakly. "I listened with my heart." He held her hand. "The world is safe now. Because of you. Because of us," she said. Days later, the Liari gathered for a final ceremony. The bond between Cole and Liari was now known across the stars. Other planets sent messages of peace. No longer hidden, Liari rose again as a people of strength. And on that day, under the open sky of their healed world, Cole and Liari stood before their people once more, this time not as warrior and princes, but As husband and wife, not just through tradition. But through choice, through trust, through love. Their hands were joined. Their hearts already were. I do, Cole said softly. I always did. Layari replied. As the people cheered, the skies lit up with soft colors, and the stars above seemed to shine brighter. Cole looked at Layari as they stood together, watching the crowd. Do you think it will last? He asked. She leaned her head against his shoulder. Nothing lasts forever. But what we build with love can last longer than fear. He smiled. This wasn't the mission he had signed up for. It was better. He hadn't just found a purpose, he had found a home,